Hi everybody, great to see you all. My name's Ben, I'm the Product Training Manager for KEF here in our New Jersey KEF Music Lounge facility with our wonderful, wonderful partners from ListenUp. Some of them just next door, listening to our phenomenal 9.14.6 home theater, really enjoying themselves in there. But what I'd like to talk about is our brand new latest product. We have our first active soundbar in the LS collection. We have the KEF XIO Soundbar. This is a 5.1.2, 820 watt spatial audio soundbar. This is capable of both Dolby Atmos and DTS and all of the other sort of formats like True HD, etc. that you can think of. Phenomenal for music as well, because if we're going to make a soundbar, it's not just going to be a soundbar, it's going to be a KEF soundbar. Absolutely fantastic for both music and movies. Some awesome tech in here, because we didn't just want to put just any old stuff into a soundbar. We wanted to make it a KEF soundbar. So we've been able to take some of the really cool benefits of our signature Uni-Q technology, where we have the tweeter in the mid-range creating a point source for a soundbar, which is really quite limited in terms of form factor. We've had to design a whole new type of Uni-Q called the Uni-Q MX, which gives us a lot of the benefits of Uni-Q in a single driver. And we have 6 of them, 3 at the front, and in this format, it will be the front firing drivers left and right and the center. We have another one here and another one up here for the upward firing for Atmos. But when we have this on the wall, so it will be mounted, so this now becomes the center, these two become the forward firing, and these two become the upward firing Atmos channels. We have a gyroscope on board that automatically detects whether you're on a shelf or on a wall, and it will adjust which driver's doing which jobs based on the orientation. On top of the Uni-Q MX, we have our brand new Racetrack 2x7-inch P185 drivers. So these are effectively 4-inch woofers, 4 of them, 2 in the front, 2 in the back to handle the low frequencies, with a patent pending what we call VECO, which is a velocity controller, which reduces distortion by only 99.8%. So we're getting all that phenomenal accuracy, which translates to even more emotion, and we get much more of the intention of the artist, of the director coming through. Very, very simple to set up, and uses the KEF Connect app for control. During the setup process, rather than having to sort of measure how far from the front of the speaker is the front of the shelf, how far behind the speaker, we have a number of microphones on board, and these feed into our intelligent placement technology. So we send tones out of the bar itself, the microphones pick up what's going on around the bar, and adjust the EQ based on what's around it. So very, very straightforward and automated process, because you shouldn't have to be an acoustics expert in order to get the best out of your product. So very easy to set up. You're spending less time setting it up, more time enjoying phenomenal immersive audio. Now, another couple of features. So I've mentioned this is a fantastic system for music. We have AirPlay on board, we have Chromecast, Spotify Connect, TIDAL Connect, Qobuz Connect, Deezer, high-res audio, internet radio, podcasts, a huge array of sources. So this really can become your central home entertainment system. The XIO also has the ability for you to connect a subwoofer to it to get just even more extension, but also the way that we've got it set up, we take away some of the heavy lifting from the bar, send it to the subwoofer, so that the XIO opens up even more than it already does. And there's a couple of ways you can do this. So firstly, there is a wired RCA output to connect into preferably a KEF subwoofer. We also have the KW1 wireless kit, which is a transmitter and a receiver system. But we also have coming out alongside the XIO, the KW2 wireless system. The XIO already has the KW2 transmitter on board. So it's just a simple, small receiver that plugs into the back of your KEF subwoofer, or it can be used with a third-party subwoofer. But when used with a KEF subwoofer, you don't need to get an extra power supply for it, etc., because it's powered directly from the sub itself. So, and again, very easy to set up, very easy to integrate with the main soundbar. You simply go into the app, choose which KEF subwoofer you're using from the list, and that will tell you a little bit what you have to do on the settings on the subwoofer, and it will set the crossover settings and the gain settings to perfectly match with the KEF XIO.
First impressions?
It's a very elegant to look at soundbar. The expansive sound that you get from this soundbar is unlike anything else I've heard. It's very clear. The dialogue there's no issues comprehending the dialogue for me.
I was really surprised at how wide the soundstage was.
Yeah.
It sounded much wider than the bar actually is. And
Yeah.
I felt like the submersive audio aspects of it were really, really good. Like way better than any soundbar I've heard.
Yeah, it sounded powerful. It got really loud without compressing, really uncompromising for that form factor. Plenty of power right away was my first impression.
Yeah, it seemed effortless to get the sound to come out even at good volume.
Yeah, we listened pretty loud
Yeah.
on some of that stuff, and it didn't sound like it was getting ready to break up or fall apart.
Yeah.
It was doing just fine.
Yeah, I think it was a pleasant surprise. I mean, admittedly, I didn't think that we would see this today, so it was really fun to have an opportunity to listen to it.
Mhm.
I think with soundbars, a lot of times you're sacrificing somewhere, and both music and TV watching, movie watching, we've kind of had the ability to listen to each aspect of it, and it's I feel like it's excelled in every way, which is pretty awesome to get out of the soundbar. You don't expect it.
Mhm.
I think, building on what you said, Seth, there's a lot of companies that rush a product into development to get in front of people, and KEF has, stood back and said, we want to really develop a product that falls in line with the rest of our line, so that when a client designs a system, that same sound goes throughout their whole house. And it's always the soundbar, which is the stopping point, and they integrated their technology, the Uni-Q technology that has been so famous with dispersing sound evenly throughout a space, and they've now incorporated that into a very small footprint. So now a client can have a very fluid sound throughout their house, whether it's speakers in the ceiling, floor standing speakers, and now they've got probably the best soundbar I think I personally ever listened to, and without ear fatigue. Very comfortable to listen to, like you said.
Yeah, I to piggyback on his comments, I think it just looks nice. It has a form factor that I think will fit in with just about anybody's decor pretty easily. I like that it comes in 2 colors. I think that was smart of them to have that little gyroscope inside, so that if you decide to wall mount it, it'll automatically recognize which orientation you have it in and adjust itself. So we don't have to fuss with it. The end customer doesn't have to fuss with it. They can just put it up and turn it on, and it'll do its thing. That's cool.
I really like the ability to pair with the subwoofer, whether that's the LFE out that it has on the back of it for traditional wiring with subwoofer, or also to pair with one of KEF's wireless receivers. Is pretty great that you really have both options there. Makes kind of the path to upgrade maybe a little bit easier.
Taking a soundbar and making it sound like a big set of speakers, that's extremely difficult, and it's taken many people many tries at it, and this is the very first product that is successful, and not conceptually but actually successful at it, and making you feel like you're listening to a set of big speakers but you can't see anything hardly.
Yeah, the Atmos effects were very present. I thought they might be somewhat too widely dispersed and hardly noticeable, but it was very pleasing Atmos experience.
Definitely surprising. I feel like soundbars have come a long way. And they told us 820 watts, and it did a really good job of filling this big room for a soundbar. It was surprising.
One last thing I think is really pretty important. Most soundbars that we've experienced would cost you 5 to 10 times the cost. At the price point that they're presenting it at, it's groundbreaking. It enables people to do other things throughout the house, and yet still have an immersive experience in that one room where they just couldn't put regular speakers in.
It's important to know that we have high standards. We've heard a lot of really great systems. And so, the fact that we're impressed by it says a lot.
So on a personal level, I've been so excited and so happy to have the ListenUp team here, learning about KEF, going through all the different ranges and categories and types of systems we put together. But I've been super, super excited as well, because they are the first group that have come through the KML that I've been able to show this to in all of its glory. They are a phenomenal partner for us. They're actually one of our launch partners for the KEF XIO. So if you're interested, pop into your local ListenUp store, pop onto listenup.com and find out more about themselves, about the KEF XIO Soundbar, and support your local brick and mortar.